What if I told you there's a version of The Last of Us Part 2 where Joel never died?
Joel, get up.
What you gonna do about it, Abby? Again? They said it couldn't be done, but thanks to some PC mods, I played through the entirety of The Last of Us Part 2 as Joel. Joel started off trauma dumping on Tommy, and fast forward 5 years, the mod was now in full effect. Alright, this seems pretty normal so far. Man, what the fuck? Alright, time to go bully some kids. Dina trying to be a good person and let the kids win. Meanwhile, this 50-year-old man hit every single shot. And Joel actually learned to ride a horse this time around, unlike the last time I messed with mods.
Be able to see most of the campus from there.
Okay, never mind, that didn't last long. The character models didn't line up properly for a lot of cutscenes, and for obvious reasons I skipped some of them. Also, this mod didn't work with Abby at first, so I downloaded a second mod that allowed me to use just about any skin in the game, and I'll link the mods in the description if you're interested. Okay, no way we got two guys named Joel that look exactly the same.
Like you heard of us or something.
I wonder why that is. This isn't even the mod, this is just how Joel sits when the camera's off him. And once I approached Joel as Joel, the game crashed. I guess it didn't want him to save himself. So I switched back and I watched other Joel get clubbed. Joel also had the most stone-faced reaction at all times. But just to keep things lighthearted, I'll cut to some other footage that was happening the same weekend when I played this. Yeah, probably doesn't help, huh? But after that Joel on Joel crime, it was now time for Joel to take up the mantle of Joel. Okay, it doesn't really make sense, but just, I'm gonna play as Joel. Alright, Seattle time, and Joel's actually on the horse. I couldn't melee while using this mod, which I actually did get to work in the second half of the game, but just kind of self-imposed that as a rule, I wouldn't punch. I did, however, pick up this gorgeous fire axe that I held onto for Ellie's half of the game. Wait, where did it go? Did he just shove it up his ass? Oh, yeah, the only thing I could melee was glass for some reason, so that was kind of nice. After more exploring, for some reason the holster wouldn't spawn in the pet store, and I found out I was stuck crafting smoke bombs and health kits only, even when I unlocked stuff with supplements, which at least was better than the part 1 Ellie mod where I couldn't craft anything, but yeah, this was gonna be tough. Also, I forgot to mention that this was on custom difficulty with everything set to grounded but resources. That way it was still a challenge, but I could be more aggressive. My normal strat of sneaking into the courtroom involves me killing this runner silently, which I couldn't do because I couldn't grab it, but I still managed to sneak through, and then I killed all the infected in the garage. And we completely wasted our time. Love to see it. Joel, what the? Pour it in the container, dude. And I did clear out the bank just to get the shotgun earlier. All right, clear. Oh, you thought this was a Last of Us 2 playthrough? No. Today I want to find out, can I beat GTA 5 while playing The Last of Us Part 2 as Joel?
You forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
Joel played some air guitar. Yeah, he has no idea what he's doing. And then we checked into the Sarabina. Shimmer, I'm really glad I have you here. Joel's alive, and we can both live a long and happy life. Yeah, the cutscene following this crashed if I wasn't playing as Ellie, so I did have to temporarily disable my mod before later turning it back on. The school is always tough for me, but I managed to clear out some wolves before making my escape. Yeah, his ass is not reading. And tell me why I hit this 360 with the rifle and thought it was actually a good shot in the moment. Ooh! That was a 360 clip that, chat. Alright, I swear in the moment, this is what it really looked like. I got a little violent with some of these Capitol Hill wolves, blew myself up, and reached Leah where I couldn't see any of the pictures. Sadly, I forgot to set up a trap mine for the wolves so they could die together, so I had to just be boring and execute them one by one. But luckily they loved funneling into this one doorway for me. It was then time for the subway, which at this point I just wanted to be done with day 1 of Ellie. So I booked it through here, and this train crash led me to the void. Joel, you're not immune. You're actually gonna die this time.
I think I'm pregnant.
Oh, me too? I don't know what to say there, and Joel didn't even know how to react either. But it was time for the day 1 flashback. Now, everything before this was done with one mod that just changed one of Ellie's skins to Joel, but the problem is that you can't use skins during flashbacks. So I downloaded a second mod that let me change to Joel at any point in the game, which is mostly important for Abby's half, but we'll get to that later. But right away, Joel pushed Joel right into the void. Oh, I'm so getting him back. All right, Joel, batter up. The good news with the flashback, though, was that Joel loved pretending to be a dinosaur. Okay, yep, we got it. Again, stuff in the museum got really weird, and this part of the game was really buggy. Joel, Joel, just grab the hat. Just grab the hat. All right, I tried to look in the mirror, and then the game just straight up killed me. Okay, Joel, I'm getting a little fed up. Stop being an asshat and let's go. Now, you know damn well Joel had probably too much alone time in this capsule, and probably was in this longer than Katy Perry was in space. And I loved watching Joel do a cannonball. Alright, maybe that wasn't a cannonball actually. Luckily for the next part though, I didn't need to worry about being scared because the game straight up just skipped this entire cutscene. Alright, whatever. Cue day 2. This was a fun-filled day of Joel meeting some wolves. I did try to be aggressive here and clear out some of the areas completely. Not everyone though, just the people. No dogs. I mean, Joel's way too much of a dog person to do that. Just look at how much he loves them. Joel Wick mode, activate. Like I said, Joel was a dog guy, so he took his time to pet the dogs. Good boy. I hit a nasty 3-in-1 shot, and I was so proud of it, I even let this machete girl have a taste. Okay, I know Naughty Dog got flack for this cutscene, but it's nice to see it like it looked in the trailer.
What the hell are you doing here?
I think I'd let you do this on your own.
We just stole this car, but Jesse was such a bad driver that Joel wouldn't even get in the car. And he was kind of right for that, because Jesse crashed it in like 2 minutes and then proceeded to not save Joel from the wreckage. But now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure we've only seen like one car in this entire series that didn't get crashed. And not like Joel was a much better driver. Then it was time for the day 2 flashback, where I started off having to snipe.
Ladies first.
Fuck off, Tommy. And Joel had quite the attitude when asked to go on a ride with Joel. Tommy, you are really pissing me off today.
You think you can fit in there?
Definitely not, but in we go. Killing the infected in here wasn't too bad, and then we got to the bloater. Thanks for the save, Joel. I got you.
What if there's like 2 bloaters back there?
It'll be fine.
And those bloaters must have sent us straight to the afterlife because this is where we finished the cutscene. It was then on to day 2 by myself, and right off the bat, these wolf deserters tried me. Ooh, a triple. That was cute. And chat got me to take a break in this apartment to watch some quality entertainment.
Chicken jockey!
I had to sprint past these stalkers a few times since if they grabbed me, it meant instant death. Then I demolished this other group of infected before being shoved through glass and straight into the void. Then it was time to meet the Seraphites. Okay. Okay, what are you shooting at me for? I just joined you guys in my last part 2 challenge. This time, they were out for blood, and so was I. Overall, the first couple Seraphite encounters were fine, since I could just run by or use grass to hide and kill them. Of course, this big guy tried to choke me, and I had to kill him until the real toughest enemy of this encounter arrived. No, I didn't freeze frame. The game literally froze whenever a Seraphite shot an arrow at me. I have no idea why, but this seemed to break the game, and I don't think it was even because of the mod. The Seraphites were just that powerful, they could crash the game on command with arrows. Also, I swear I killed this guy the first time, but whatever. I killed him the last time. I was really getting into the Seraphites' ideas, so when I spotted this girl with something old world, I had to deal with her. Gamer down. Alright, never mind, this music actually goes pretty hard. I was being really stubborn and wanted to kill everyone in this outside hospital area, but I kept failing, so I ultimately opted to just sneak by.
Don't scream.
Yeah, Joel, that's not helping.
We could have killed you.
What do you mean could have? You did.
You still hear his screams?
Well, at least I got to watch these clickers kill some wolves. Back at the theater, Joel developed AI hands, and that was not in this cutscene at all. But Jesse, for some reason, teleported to watch Dina and Ellie. I don't really understand what happened here. Neither did the game, because it crashed right on the flashback. The game then proceeded to crash like 3 more times right after this, before Jesse and I could continue. We fought our way forward to the flooded mall, where Jesse ditched me? So rude. For some reason, this boat that's scripted to go to the other side of the mall wasn't moving, and enemies didn't detect me, so I hopped on board and started messing with this guy. I've never been able to kill him, so I assumed it was impossible, and I was right. I did waste all my ammo though. All the wolves were ignoring me until I got off the boat, and they suddenly all knew where I was. And to make matters worse, the checkpoint saved right after I wasted my ammo. Even restarting an encounter didn't work. So I had to sneak through this mall with next to nothing, but I managed to just run through and somehow I didn't die. I took this group of Seraphites out to celebrate and was excited for my next encounter before switching to Abby's half of the game. Even though I ended up wasting everything in the flooded mall before, I managed to scrounge up a good amount of ammo right before the bloater fight, and I killed it pretty quickly, but that was not enough to satisfy my bloodlust. So I casually spawned in a second bloater and killed that one too. I got reacquainted with Mel and Owen before making my big return to the theater.
We let you both live.
Why do you guys keep saying that? No, you didn't. It was now on to Abby's half of the game, which would crash significantly more. Oh well, at least I got to try out the bloater for a minute here. Basically, right away the game glitched, and I honestly felt like I was intruding watching this cutscene from outside of it.
These woods are safe.
You sure about that? Joel played around in some trees for a little bit and then unsuccessfully tried to torch Jerry. Alright, hospital time, and this cutscene also did not work right.
Yeah, we're all trying to find the guy who did this.
Oh well, guess that's a cliffhanger to resolve later. Back to day 1, Joel ate his burrito and then proved he was still a dog guy. On my first playthrough, I was nearly 2 hours into my stream and had barely made any progress. Until finally, I discovered that there was a value in this mod menu I needed to change in order to use custom skins for Abby. The animations mostly worked, but sometimes Joel still liked to T-pose. And also, he was so excited when I got it to work, he hit this move.
Okay, we'll follow.
Joel was allergic to getting in the car, but I was just so glad to have this mod actually working. To celebrate, I spawned a bloater in the fob, but literally only one wolf tried to kill it. It was actually friendly though, and mostly ignored me. Okay, and everyone please ignore my backpack. There are absolutely no suspicious items inside. I met Isaac, and Joel got war flashbacks to the last time he was in an elevator shaft. Oh well, time for another flashback. Alright, why is he making that face? Resume. This part was pretty glitchy due to some animations not working, so I kept having to switch back to Abby. Also, it let me go out of bounds at one point, but the map kept disappearing, so I just drowned Joel. Owen was going a little insane throughout this and started talking to himself before making out with the air. So now I needed to find Owen and make sure he was still crazy. I ran through Chinatown, making sure to piss off all of chat by ignoring this shotgun, and I shot all the Seraphites in the sniper section before just running by the second encounter and getting my ass beat. Now, I was loving all these flashbacks that had minimal gameplay and basically existed just to break the mod, but luckily these arrows didn't actually crash the game. This cutscene in the forest wouldn't let me change from Abby until it was over. Oh, and the good thing about this half of the game was that I actually could melee as Joel, but outside of this first forest section, I didn't. Okay, and this part. And I have no idea why it just changed to Abby.
Seraphites.
Seraphites? No, she doesn't. She's just a little girl.
Pun f***ing intended.
Joel watched while these infected beat up Lev and Yara, and then I cleared out the restaurant holdout. Joel kinda carried Yara, and then dropped her off before turning into a bloater. And if you've played this game before, you probably already know what scene's coming up. That's right. The boat scene. At least I think this is the boat scene people were talking about, right? I killed all the infected on here and got inside this safe, but good lord, Joel hated turning the lock and he kept switching it the opposite way of what I was doing, or he would change it by like 20 extra numbers. I pulled up to the aquarium and I had to wear something more revealing for Owen. Ah, that's better. But yeah, I skipped this cutscene so fast. We are not doing Joel backshots. This is a family channel. This is mostly a family channel. Joel dragged Yara back to the aquarium for surgery, but the cutscene kept trying to change the skin back to Abby. She just slid off screen.
I think she knows about last night.
I don't care about last night.
Why, did something happen last night? Yara's arm was cooked, so Lev and I went to get her some band-aids to heal it.
Do other people think you're funny? No.
Yeah, me too. On day 2, I felt very in my element at first, clearing this group of Seraphites and then taking out this rooftop in stealth mode on my first try, which I immediately followed up by drowning while trying to grab a quarter. In what is undoubtedly the biggest betrayal in the game, Lev stole my hammer when I gave him the flashlight. Oh, so you think I'm gonna give you a mask when you stole my hammer?
If you die, I'll be stuck here. I better start praying.
Shouldn't have stole my hammer. Now, usually I run for my life because I hate stalkers, but this time I decided to just clear them all out. Rather than sneak by, I chose to kill all the infected in this encounter, and then proceeded to die to one stalker. This caused me to fail the encounter like 10 more times before finally completing it and heading to the wolf hospital.
It's me! It's Abby!
That is definitely not Abby. They still let me pet their dog though. Abby's disembodied hands were floating in this elevator, but that didn't bother Nora, who let me go down to ground 0. And I completely forgot there was a wall stalker in here, and the game baited me with a fake second one. Really, guys? Then I finally found the medkit for Yara. The Rat King wanted a fight, so I fought him right back. Okay, not really. Joel did kill him though, and even managed to stunlock the armored stalker. Lev and I brought back Yara's supplies, and he ran away. This was not my first time being shot at by a sniper, and I knew with aim this good, it could only be one person. JJ. Joel was 0% surprised by his brother murdering someone right in front of him, and then we had a nice Miller family reunion, in which Tommy went for a swim. I then headed to the island with Yara so I could get my hammer. And Lev. I was not playing around this time, and I was determined to kill everyone. But this one guy with arrows kept crashing the game. Still, I hit my shots, and I made it through. Alright, enough of that. Trauma time. Are all of you f***ing blind? After we lost Yara, Joel just dipped from the cutscene and floated into the ceiling. And since the island was already on fire, I decided to add a little bit of fuel to the flames. I love this weapon. I got some kills and laid low the rest of the way, but this part always pisses me off because why are you shooting at me when I just helped you?
You know how to ride?
Do I know how to ride? Come on. The rest of the island was fine until we got to the big boy, and Joel had no reaction to being choked to death. Okay, we made it back to the theater, and Joel just straight up shot his brother in the face. Then it was time for Joel to fight Joel until one of them became the last of us. This fight was fine, but after crashing through the floor, Joel decided to crash the game. I was kind of bad at the last part of this fight, but my god, every time Joel shot an arrow, the entire game crashed. After a few restarts, I did carefully manage to beat him though. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting? Joel told Joel to never see him again, and then we went to the farm where Joel taught JJ how to no-clip. And he looked really distraught during his PTSD flashback.
Who's here?
Oh damn, sorry for shooting you in the face, by the way. And then Joel reminisced a little bit more from the time he saved himself. Santa Barbara time.
Jerry Anderson. He was my dad.
Jerry Anderson was not your dad, Joel. Stop being weird. Joel was taken hostage, so now it was up to Joel to find him, beat him within an inch of his life, and then let him go. But first, Joel got bit. Yeah, no, it's fine. Totally fine. First, I took my time saving the dogs and killing every rattler in the street. Alright boy, go fetch. I also managed to free these clickers in the resort area, who helped me out a bit with clearing some guys. They were actually a little too efficient and killed like 5 people minimum. Yeah, why not? Unfortunately, the mod only let me change the skin of the character I was playing as, or Ellie to Joel, so Joel actually did have to fight Abby here. Round 2, the rematch. What's wrong? I thought you liked sports, Abby. I T-posed my way through this fight until Abby slapped me so hard, the game crashed. But I was able to finish the fight, and Joel did win in the end. And of course, he let her go. I finally made it back to the abandoned farmhouse, and what do you know? Joel's fingers are all still there. Skill issue, Ellie.
What are you drinking?
Coffee.
I would like to try.
No.
You're such an asshole. You took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second coffee, I would do it all over again.
Huh, so that's why we were really fighting. And after streaming for over 8 hours, the game sent me outside to touch some grass. What the hell? This is a cutscene. What are we doing here?
Let me in. Let me in.
I reloaded the checkpoint and Joel was a bit teary-eyed, but we finally made it through. This was a lot of fun to play through with mods, and I hope you guys enjoyed. You can find my full playthrough linked in the description or on my channel, Epic Cakes Gaming. Also, huge shout out to everyone who joined the live stream, and thank you to the following people for donating. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Epic Cakes Gaming for more Last of Us content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.